All right, welcome back to the Love and Truth podcast. I'm your host, James Nelson, with my beautiful wife,
Lanae.
and we are the Nelsons. And so we're just excited about this second
Yeah.
episode of Love and Truth podcast with the Nelsons. Um, just so what's going on with you? What's happening? What's happening?
What's
You're
hap
looking cute.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I am the brand.
Yes, I
I
see you.
am the
I
brand.
see you.
Well, I've had a great week. I enjoyed our last podcast, understanding childhood trauma.
Right.
Thought it was a very educational and meaningful,
Yes,
episode.
that was a really good topic.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are dealing. You got to go check out the last episode, which
Yep.
aired on Wednesday.
hmm
And actually, this is our 1 year anniversary. Uh,
We
we
didn't talk
we didn't even
about it.
talk about
We
it.
didn't even talk about it.
We
And
didn't talk
so,
about it.
yeah, we're celebrating us. So 2020, this is when it was talked about. We were
Mm,
establishing a vision, and we actually executed the vision in what, 2024,
yeah, last year,
April
April
2nd,
April 2nd
2024. So um
was the official
yeah,
launch of the.
because you were like, why isn't our stuff coming out on Tuesdays? It always comes out on Tuesdays. And I'm like, but I needed for it to land on the date,
The second
which was a Wednesday versus a Tuesday. So we're now going back to Tuesdays, what
Tuesdays.
everybody's
Yeah,
used to.
yeah. But you know, and last year, I think we recorded like 10 episodes
Mm-hmm.
last year, and various topics. And we went to a couple of podcast events in Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and just really trying to understand this space.
Right.
Um, and our vision was just about how do we create an environment or a space for to have conversations about couples and
Mm-hmm.
relationships, right?
Right.
And so we feel like that's where we're sort of unique. There's a lot of podcasts out there. Um, Not saying they're not talking about relationships, but it's very rare that you see an actual couple talking about and being vulnerable and being
Right.
open and transparent about what's going on with us, but then also sharing with others some of the learnings that we've experienced over the last several years. So
Yes.
I'm enjoying this
This journey.
this journey.
Yeah.
Yes. Um,
I'm enjoying the journey.
Starting on the balcony, having some real hard conversations
Mm-hmm.
between you and I, just dealing with real life stuff. And so
Yeah.
what we're purposing to do is to kind of bring that to the camera and say, hey, here's some of the things that we went through, and then hopefully sharing that can help other couples kind of work through some of the challenges that they may be
Right.
experiencing. And it's not like any one couple has it all figured out, but I think creating a community and sharing, best practices,
Mm-hmm.
what works, what doesn't work. I think we need to get back to that.
Well, I think that we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
And actually I want to say this because you said following us on our journey. This is a good time for you to go like, share, and subscribe. We are on YouTube. It'll come across the screen where you can find us, Facebook and IG.
Yeah. Balcony Talk WTN. Go subscribe. Yeah, listen, go subscribe. A lot of great content, a lot of good
Yeah.
information. And just come on this journey with us.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Exactly. Okay. All
Looks
right.
good. Okay, what's going on? Go
Nothing.
ahead. Yeah, you go talk to
Yeah. Listen, I'm waiting on you. What's next? Because it was a
you
good
too.
start.
You too. Say you waiting on me. So, what are we talking about today?
Our title
Yes.
is The Truth Hurts.
Yes.
The Truth Hurts. So now that's whether we're talking about romantic relationships, family, friends, co-working connections. This fear shows up often silently and can sabotage trust before it ever fully takes root. So grab your coffee, your tea, whatever drink makes you at peace, and come along and let's unpack all of this together.
So yeah, so the truth hurts. And
Mm-hmm.
and so the question becomes, why are people afraid to have honest conversations in relationships? Why are we afraid to be real in relationships? Why are couples afraid to be transparent and honest in relationships?
And we want to hear what you guys have to say about that in the comment, because people have different reasons why they don't want to share.
Hmm.
Um One of the reasons why I think that people don't share is because they haven't been truthful with themselves. It's almost like denial.
Hmm.
And if they deny where they are, they can't be truthful with you. If I can't be truthful with me, I'm not going to be open and honest with you. That's
Right.
just how it goes.
And what are some of the things that an individual may or may not be honest with themselves about?
So, because this is in alignment with talking about childhood trauma. If you haven't come to grips with that yourself and dealt with that, that may be one of the reasons why you don't want to divulge any
Hmm.
of that information, because you haven't dealt with it. Anything that I haven't dealt with, I'm probably not going to bring that up to you,
Hmm.
because, again, I'm in denial, or I just don't even want to deal with it.
Right. Okay.
But that's a bad place to be, because the idea of a relationship is to be open and honest, because I'm saying you're my person, and if you're my person, I want you to share.
Hmm.
I want you to see all of my life.
Hmm.
I want you to know what I've experienced, so you can better know how to handle me, and knowing what my triggers are. And if I'm not open and honest with you, this is why we get so many messed up and broken relationships.
Yeah, I agree with all. I mean, that I agree with all of that, and it is a fear. And so we can talk about childhood experiences or childhood wounds, but not but. In addition to that, it really just boils down to past relationships,
Hmm.
and you haven't been able to be honest, or you've been wounded, or you've been hurt, or
Hmm.
you've been betrayed, or you've been um, you know, minimize and marginalize, because we talk about childhood, but we also talk about previous relationships,
Right.
or family dynamics, right? You grew up in an environment where you didn't see honesty and just real in relationships. It was all put on, it was all pretend,
Hmm.
and you know it wasn't real. But I think too, when you've been in a relationship and you've been transparent with someone and then they use that against you,
Hmm.
right? And it just makes one not want to be open and honest about certain things.
Right. Yeah.
So I think a lot of it has to do with kind of previous relationships
Hmm.
and what those experiences were.
Hmm. So let me, just a question. Do you think that most relationships don't work because individuals are possibly locked up and not honestly being, they've not done any introspective work, and so they're just holding on to all this stuff, and then they get in relationships, and whatever they're dealing with that they haven't dealt with, it comes out.
Yeah, all the above. Like if you haven't dealt with past pains or past disappointments, then yeah, it's gonna be difficult to be in a relationship and make it work. I'll just use me for example. Just growing up and always feeling, trying to be a nice guy, trying to
Hmm.
be a good guy, trying to be, you know, whatever that looked like,
Hmm.
right? But then getting labeled as, well, you're too nice, or you're too this, or you're too that, as if that's a bad thing.
Right.
And so, high school, college, or whatever period of time that is, I've been in scenarios where trying to do it the right way didn't lead to the best outcome. It just didn't. So for a long time, I wasn't being honest and open and truthful in a relationship, and so that just led into even being previously married and other relationships. I just had this guarded approach,
Right.
trying to protect myself,
Yeah.
trying to protect myself, and that and not wanting to be rejected because I'm being honest about something, whether I like it or my likes or dislikes in a relationship. I
Mhm.
don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So people don't want to hear the truth because sometimes the truth does hurt.
Yeah. And I
So
I wish we would understand though that when we do know the truth makes us free. When we do know it. And that's even with ourselves. I can free myself with being truthful with myself.
mm,
And it starts
yeah,
there so that I can be truthful with you. So, I have a question. People don't like to be vulnerable, and people say vulnerability is a weakness. Would you say vulnerability is a weakness?
it can be perceived like that. It just depends on
But
the
do you think it
situation.
is?
Um, I don't think it's a weakness. I think that it exposes you. And if you haven't dealt with some of those internal things, then it can be a weakness for someone that hasn't done the internal work. You know what I mean?
They
So
could feel that
they
way.
can feel that way.
They can feel that way because vulnerability is courage in motion.
Hmm.
And so if it's courage in motion, or we look at it in different ways, but um honestly, that's what it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You go next. You
No,
go next,
babe,
baby.
what are you talking about? Go next.
Yeah, go next. What's
Okay,
this
okay.
next
No,
question?
no, no. Listen, this is a conversation. You had a lot to talk about this subject, right?
Yeah, but not that particular
Okay, we'll just go.
not that particular statement, but I have a lot to say
Okay, we'll
about
say
it.
it. So
We're
why
not
why
there yet.
no? Okay, so being
Walk with me.
vulnerable, being
Mhm.
vulnerable is not a weakness, but I think a lot of people struggle with that because of the distrust, and they haven't created a safe space. They haven't created a space where they can be honest and open, where they can just put their guard down because they don't know how that other individual is going to respond.
Respond. Mhm.
Then they don't know how they're going to respond. So rather than dealing with the response, they just avoid having those truthful conversations because they don't want to deal with whatever that outcome might be.
Do you think that's healthy?
Of course, it's not healthy, but I'm telling you, it's real. That's what people do. No, it's not healthy, but people do
I
it
don't
all the
disagree.
time. They do it all the time for
Yeah, I don't
various for
disagree.
various reasons. So I just think you have to go in and deal with whatever is going on with you so that you can create that space.
Okay. Okay. Well, so sometimes the reason that people are not vulnerable and they don't necessarily talk to you, or they're not open with you, it may be childhood wounds, it could be previous betrayals, it could be emotional unavailability. So that's a big one because we have a lot of people that are not emotionally available in relationships,
Hmm.
and people, I always talk about being able to identify what that looks like and what it is so that
Hmm.
because some people are seeing something and they don't have a word to attach to it, and they like, well, yeah, they act like this, but I didn't know what it was. No, you need to know what it is, because when people are not emotional, if when they're emotionally unavailable, we're not even in a relationship at this point because you're not
What does
here.
that look
You're not
like?
present.
What is Give me an example
An
of what that
example of
looks like?
of what that looks like is you're never okay, let's just say this. You're working, I'm working. We've committed to having date night every Friday. Every
Hmm.
Friday. But every Friday, you know, even if we do go out, you're not there. You're on your phone, you're somewhere else.
Hmm.
If I'm talking about a conversation, your phone may ring, you answer it.
Right.
Or it's just that you need to reschedule the whole date.
Yeah.
When we're at home, if we live together, if we're at home, we're not having quality time. We're not talking because you're present but absent.
Right.
You're just not there.
So that's kind of so what's potentially the root of that though? If someone's not there, like what does that mean? Because it's something, like, if someone's not emotionally there,
Yeah.
they're not mentally there,
Yeah.
then
They've probably checked out of the relationship.
yeah.
I mean, I would say that you have checked out.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you're not showing up for you and you can't show up for me, you're not showing up for us.
right. So that means that if they've checked out, then there's probably something that they want to say that they haven't said, whether it be, hey, I'm not fulfilled in a relationship,
Right.
I'm not happy in a relationship,
Right.
or things have changed in a relationship, but they're not really talking about it, right? So they don't want to have that hard conversation and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I'm not attracted to you anymore.
Yeah.
Or I don't feel like I'm being treated with the level of respect that I need or demand or expect.
Mhm.
Or you're not catering to me the way I need. So I'm not saying all of that. So I'm not giving the truth is I don't feel like I'm an important. I'm a priority to you.
Right.
So I've checked out because maybe you've never checked in.
Mhm.
I've checked out
Mm.
because I don't feel like you're treating me, not you and I, but I'm just saying in these scenarios,
I
maybe the
understand.
man doesn't feel or the woman doesn't feel that that person values them at all.
Right.
So yeah, you're gonna check out emotionally.
So when do we have the conversation with our significant other when they have that they're emotionally unavailable? You know everything that you just heard. How long do you allow them to just be MIA in the relationship without saying something such as, hey, are you not fulfilled? Do you not want to be here? It could be things that you guys have talked about and they don't feel heard. But how long, do we just act like everything's okay? This is how we get stuck in relationships. And then we don't even go and get therapy. There's no counseling. There's nothing. There's just silence.
Yeah. So some people stay in those situations because they're like, okay, cool, you're emotionally unavailable. I don't really want to be with you anyway, but we've got these kids, we got these bills, so we just gonna ride it out until the kid's gone.
And that's such a waste of time.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
That's
that is
that's why
such a
you that's why
waste of
you see
time.
that's why you see so many people when they get into their, late 40s, early 50s, they go through their midlife crisis.
Hmm.
They're starting to reflect about how much time they've wasted in a relationship, in a marriage, or whatever the situation is. And then the kids graduate, move out, and then now you're just sitting at home with this person that for the last decade or 10 years you didn't have the courage to tell the truth,
Hmm.
because the truth of the matter, man, we both know this relationship was over 10 years ago.
That's what we know.
We
That is
know
the
it was
truth.
over 10 years ago,
Yes.
but we didn't address the root issues. We just let it slide. We just continue to do life
Mhm.
together,
Mhm.
unhappy, unfulfilled, because you didn't have the courage to say, hey, this is missing in the relationship. And either it needs to change or we need to do something different. That's what it really boils down to.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Did
And
I
that's
jump
that's
ahead?
good. No, 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 no. You did good. But I want you guys that are watching right now. I'm going to ask a question to our audience. Have you ever opened up and regretted it because the person didn't handle your truth with care?
Yeah.
So that's another reason why oftentimes people may shut down as well.
Hmm.
So if I give you a truth about me, and when I give you this truth about me, you're dismissive.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And you'll say, like example, um, when you've been if men or women, if you've been honest with your significant partner about something, it could have been that someone did something to you, whatever it was, and then your significant other, they're not. showing empathy, there's no compassion, but they give you this example. Well, you should be over that by now.
Mm.
At that point, they will probably shut down and never ever talk to you about anything that is weighty for them. And so now the relationship takes a different direction after that.
Yeah, it does. Because if you handle me like that, then yeah, no, I'm not going to talk to you about anything. And listen, and let's be real. Excuse me. Even with us,
Mhm.
when I had been divorced, you know, dating, we talked about that whole, my whole situation, my transition, going through therapy and doing those things on my own, right? Just
Mhm.
trying to work through what I needed to work through. But there was a period of time when I was single. You were still, we hadn't connected yet,
Mhm.
right? We hadn't connected. Um, Almost 10 years, you and I hadn't really talked. And then when I got divorced, and then you eventually got went through a divorce, and then
Mhm.
we, reconnected after that, and it's like, okay, you know what? Let's see what this is,
Right.
right? And so we went on this journey, right? But prior to that, there were some things that I needed to share with you because when I knew we were getting serious and we were going down this path, we're like, you know what, this is what I thought it would have been,
Mhm.
and so now we're about to lock in and be, committed. At that point, I said, you know what, I got to share some things because I didn't want. Now this is the new me. This is not the old James
Right.
to cover, conceal, and do all of those things.
Yeah.
No, I had to say, you know what, because you kept asking me, is there something you want to tell me? Is there something like, nah?
That's
I
interesting.
said, nah, ain't nothing. I kept
I
saying,
did ask you
you
that.
kept asking me, is there something you want to tell me? I'm like, nah, ain't, no, ain't nothing I want to tell you.
Do you know why I was asking you that? Because women, men, we feel things that intuition says there's something. I have learned in life when you decide that you're not going to listen to your intuition, you praying out of your mouth is you praying to God. Your intuition is God talking to you. When we don't use it and we miss that, because some of us say, well, God never talks to me. It's not the truth.
Hmm.
But I knew that um, when you wanted to tell me something, I knew you wanted to tell me something. Like I felt you wanted to say something.
No, I really didn't want to tell you
You
anything.
probably didn't on
No,
the surface, but you
I
did.
did not want to tell you
Well, I'm
anything.
glad that you told me.
Okay, so let's be clear.
Yes,
I
and
didn't
I'm
want to,
glad,
but
but you
I
wanted to tell me.
no, no, no. I needed to tell you. I didn't want to tell you. I needed to tell you.
Well, I'm
Just
glad.
be clear. I needed to tell her because what I didn't want to happen was something to come back later on. We're deep in because at this point we were dating. We weren't married yet. We were dating,
Mm,
right? We were figuring things out. So I felt like I needed to tell you.
yeah.
Still didn't want to, but I needed to tell you because I didn't want something to come up. People see we're a couple and we're happy, and they're because people get jealous and envious, and then they try to disrupt things. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying this would have been that scenario, but I'm just simply saying
Yeah.
I didn't want anything to come in and be like a wrecking ball and just kind of throw things out of balance. So I needed to tell you some things that happened, even though it was before we got together,
Yeah.
just because of
Yeah.
the proximity, I
Mhm.
needed to tell you.
Right. Right.
So sometimes it's not about whether or not you want to tell the truth. Sometimes you need to tell the truth.
Yes. And I'm going to tell you what women appreciate. We appreciate in the early stages of us dating. And if there is something that needs to, especially if you know that this is a solid woman, men, I'm not talking about,
Just random.
yet we're not talking about that. I'm talking about someone that you say, you know what, I could make her my wife. you want to be open, you want to be vulnerable, you want to be transparent, especially when you know that you have a solid woman.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm going back and I'm thinking
I'm
about
listening.
us too, right? Because as we've shared, we've been knowing each other for a long time,
Right,
right?
right.
And there were periods in our lives or in my life where I was sharing some things as a friend,
Hmm.
what I was dealing with,
Right,
right?
right.
And I was just transparent and honest with you about a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
And then we get together and it's like, now it's like,
because
that
you've said some things to
no, no,
me.
no, not that upset because what the past was a past.
Okay.
No, when sometimes when men get into those real strong relationships, it shifts like I don't want to say some things to hurt the person that I
Mm,
love.
mm, I
And
understand.
so this is where the truth gets a little twisted because I men know certain things will hurt. And so rather than hurt, this is why we said the truth hurts. So rather than hurt the one that I love by giving them this truth, they hold it. Not because they're trying to, whatever in all cases, but as I'm trying to protect
Hmm.
the person that I love. So certain things I don't say. Example, and I'm using this as an example.
Okay.
Men won't the example women will be like, do I look fat in this dress? I'm
Eh,
like, no, you don't. No, you look good, babe.
even if she doesn't.
Even if she doesn't,
Ah, see,
even
yeah, that's
you
that's
you, you
that's
get
rough for me.
you're getting a little. Well, let's talk broadly. Let's not.
No, I
It just.
understand.
But that
I
would be
get it.
that would be rough though. That's a truth,
It is a truth.
but it's painful.
So you think that you shouldn't say anything. That's why most people in whatever relationship think they shouldn't tell the truth to the other person because you don't want to hurt my feelings, or is it because it makes you feel a certain type of way?
Um, it. I'm just, and generally speaking,
Yeah.
it's because I don't want to hurt the person's feelings, not
Yeah.
because I feel some type of way about it. It's because I just don't want to hurt someone's
Yeah.
feelings.
Yeah.
And when you're in a relationship and you can't be honest and truthful, then that creates this whole, you know, over time,
Yeah.
you're not saying some real
That's good.
things to that person.
Hmm.
And then over time it builds up and then you have the blow up.
Right. Because now resentment
Resentment is
has
setting
set
in
in. Yes.
because you haven't been honest or truthful. And when I say honest and truthful, I'm not saying you're doing stuff and you're lying about it. I'm saying you're not being honest and truthful about where you are in the relationship, what you're receiving, what you're not receiving, what you need, what you don't need. You're not saying that. And then that's what builds up the resentment because I could be making all these sacrifices, but I don't feel like I'm getting the appreciation back, but I don't say anything about it. And over time, it builds up resentment.
No, that's really good. You were talking and I thought about this. We as people, we say, just as you've heard
Hmm.
my husband say, the reason why most men don't want to say anything to their lady is strictly because they don't want to hurt them, even though what they may need to give us is the truth.
Right.
But it's funny to me, the Bible says that the truth will set you free. This is why I say we do have to deal with our mindsets about how we actually think about certain things, because if I am if I'm have picked up weight, and full transparency, I've gone through all of this. This is I done had complete meltdowns in the closet, so this is something real that I'm talking about. But if I've picked up weight
Hmm.
and then I say, "Hey babe, what do I look like in this dress?" For me. Now, this hasn't ever happened for us. If something that I don't even think that you said that I didn't look good in anything, but I want the truth. I don't want the superficial, oh babe, no, you look good, because to not give me truth says that you're lying to me.
Yeah,
And it also says that, and this is gonna be a little piercing, but it's also that person lying to self saying, I don't want to give them the truth because I don't want to hurt them. Sometimes I think that we honestly don't give people the truth because we don't want to feel a certain way. Like if you tell somebody, let's just, this is a family member calls you up, hey, can I borrow $500? You say, you know what, let me give you a call back, blah blah blah. You don't tell them the truth, I don't want to give it to you because you may not pay me back. So versus saying that, you know what, I don't really trust you with my money right now because I don't think you didn't give it back. You'll say, you know what, well, right now is not a good time. I don't have it. Was that truth to keep me from hurting them, or was it because I wasn't truthful with me? I don't feel comfortable enough saying what the truth is to that person. I hope that makes sense.
yeah, it does. But I also think that, I mean, it's both.
Okay.
I mean, there's a part of that that, and I'll just say for me, from my perspective, in most cases, it was rarely about I don't want to feel some type of way. It was never about me feeling.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It
Yes.
was
Yes.
more about not making someone else feel a certain type of way,
Mhm.
and not me thinking about how I was going to feel about saying yes, no, whatever the case may be.
Do you think it's something good for us to think about though as people, why even men and women too sometimes, why we might not want to say what the truth is to the person because we've put up, we're hanging on to, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Do you think
Yeah,
that that's something we should look at individually,
of course we should.
why
Like,
we
so
do that?
so how many times have has a woman faked an orgasm?
That's all I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I mean, all the time. Like,
This is true.
hold on. No, this is
Well,
real.
let's talk about it.
Yeah, because you got this brother feeling like he's doing all the work and he's missing the boat. You giving him a false sense of confidence and surety about, rather than telling him, "Hey, bruh,
Yeah.
you missing the spot.
Right. Right.
It's not over there.
Right.
Don't do it like that,"
Right.
because you don't want to hurt his ego.
Okay.
You don't want to hurt his ego.
Okay.
So,
So rather than be honest, because now you're lying to yourself, and in turn, now you're lying to the other person.
well, I don't think she's lying to herself by faking it. I think
Well, you
she
are, because it's a lie.
no, what I'm saying is, I'm sure she's gonna go do whatever she needs to do to take care of herself. Okay. She probably done figured it out. Hey, this is a good brother. He's a good provider. He's doing all these other great things, great father, but he just ain't really taking care of that. So why am I gonna take that 20% when all the other 80 or 90% is good? Just
Mm.
as one little thing. So I don't think that's her lying to herself. I think that's looking at the whole picture and saying, hey, is this worth destroying the 80 or the 90?
Why does it have to be destroyed? Why can't it just
I'm
be
using that
that?
for effect. I'm just saying it could,
Okay.
because it could destroy it. Because if you tell this man that he's not performing and we're performance driven, and if you're telling him he's not performing, that's going to be an ego. It's going to destroy the ego. So now he's walking around feeling like less of a man. I don't care about none of the other stuff that he's doing right. That one thing can destroy a man's ego. So,
I'm definitely not
but
arguing
what
about
I'm
that.
saying though is that, is it worth it? So this is where, when we say the truth hurts, so how you deliver that becomes important, right? Having a conversation about it, mixing that truth in, you know, in there with some other stuff so that they can get the truth without feeling emasculated. Just saying.
So I think that it's okay to allow people to feel however they're going to feel if the end result is for them to be made free. I'm saying that because I know that many of us, we have a lot to say about, well, I'm not going to tell the truth because I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to give the truth because, you know, I don't want to mess up the relationship. But if the truth sets us free and gets us together, why are we having such a hard time with that? That's a question that I'm asking us.
Because it's not a it's more complicated than it shouldn't have to be, but it is. This is why, and this is what we talk about in relationship building, the foundation.
Right.
If the foundation of the relationship is built on creating a safe space
Yes.
to be honest and open and transparent
Mhm.
without what are you looking for, the book?
Yeah.
Without without anyone feeling judged, without anyone feeling disrespected,
Mhm.
then you can have these real conversations because you've laid a foundation in a relationship that says, "Hey, let's keep it a buck with each other
Mhm.
about everything, about our money, about our intimacy, about our communication,
Right.
about our decision making process." And you've established that up front.
Okay.
Then this becomes less of an issue.
Mhm.
But most people don't go into relationships establishing that safe space and that foundation. They go into relationships with their representatives, and they're not being their authentic selves
Right.
in the beginning. So now, when you start talking about having real conversations, man, we haven't created a space where we can just talk real like that. So,
So you saying that whenever you show up as an imposter,
mhm,
something that I know that you are doing is you have an alter ego within yourself and you pull that person forward because you want that person to be your hero. So you're not true to you. This is why we show up as other people in relationships. And when you show up as somebody else in a relationship, you're not building on a solid foundation. You're building on a lie.
mhm,
This is why oftentimes it's very hard to get in relationships with people and you can be open and honest because I don't like parts of me, but I want you to like every part of me. So I'm gonna dress it up and dress it down. I got my fit on. Like you see not one hair out of place because I need to present perfect.
right,
Because I know within me, I don't even like half the stuff that I do. And I think that it is a disservice to yourself and especially to other people to try to
mhm,
date when you know that you don't love you, but you want me to love you. And you know
mhm,
that you don't like yourself, but you want me to like you. There is no way that we can get into these relationships and be open and honest when we haven't dealt with what's
mm,
going on within ourselves. We have to do introspective work if we are saying that we want to get to a place like you and I are.
yeah,
So on that note, um, you and I came up with this Love and Truth Journal,
yes,
and this is a guide to meaningful relationship. What we would love for you guys to do is you're going to see the information come across the screen. If you are looking to have a relationship that is solid, if you're looking for just a start of a healing space and to begin that journey, this is actually a book that you would love to get. It's a journal, you're able to write in it, but I want to really quick tell you that we are talking about this subject today from one of the questions in our book. What are the biggest fears when it comes to being open and honest in your relationship? So definitely take advantage of this. And we want to thank people that have already ordered this book. It is a game changer.
yeah. It's a digital copy. So once you order it, you'll see the link. below. But once you order it, you'll get it straight to your email. You can download the entire journal, or you can download the sections. The first section that we're actually touching on today is just building a foundation, kind of what I was just saying a minute
Right.
ago. Once you build a foundation of honesty, truth, transparency in the relationship in the beginning,
In the
and
beginning.
you're asking some very straightforward questions, creating a safe space,
Mhm.
establishing with your partner that, hey, this is serious. I want us to really build on this foundation of trust
Right.
and honesty, and creating a safe space for the relationship. So it's just a great guide to excuse
It
me,
is.
a great guide to meaningful communication. That's what we focus on. Meaningful communication, not just this surface stuff. It's designed to help you prompt and go deeper in your communication with each other. So,
Yeah. And it does that. And often people are like, I love y'all's relationship. I would really love that, type of relationship. And I really want people to know and understand James and I actually do the work. We what you see is what you get. We talk through things. These questions were birthed out of things that we've asked each other and what we had to sit down and do. So we have really built on this foundation of marriage,
mhm,
and it's actually, I can say it's been good.
yeah,
It's been really good, and
and
it hasn't been work like that. It doesn't seem like it's been like, man, this is tedious or this is hard. I can't say that.
yeah, no, it has not been, because most of the work was on me. Because I'm just thinking in my mind as we were working through
Hmm.
that transition
Yeah.
period. And then I think I was sharing something with you. I won't get into all of the details, but you were asking me something, and I was kind of like, you remember on Friday when Smokey was like, "Man, if I get dealt with, I get dealt with." So
Yeah, I
I
remember.
was in a place where, like, hey, you know what?
Hmm.
I'm not. I'm just gonna be straight up. Here's what it is. If
Yes.
you decide, hey, you don't want to move forward because of X, Y, Z, then that's just what it is.
Hmm.
Would that be painful? Yes. But the reality is, living um, or building a relationship on a foundation of sand and not solid wasn't going to work for me. Both
Okay.
you and I had been married. Listen, with second round, and so we're like, yo, we're not going through. I won't get a divorce the second time
Yeah.
and go do it again. I just won't.
Right.
So we made a commitment that, we're gonna communicate. And the one thing I can give us credit for is that when we have issues, we're not going days.
Right.
We're not even gonna go a few minutes. No, we need to talk about this.
Right.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about it. That's how we came up with the balcony talk with the Nelsons. Let's go on this balcony
Right.
and let's have this real conversation. And it might be uncomfortable. It might be painful. It might hurt, but let's go out and have this conversation.
Right.
So,
So, I go back to this thing because, and I really hope that you guys that are listening to this all the way through are grabbing this. But you said, if I got dealt with, I was going to get dealt with. In that moment of truth that you wanted to give to me,
mhm,
you looked at it differently because you didn't say, I don't want to hurt her feelings. Feelings weren't in the way. You attached it to something else, meaning you're like, okay, you know what? I gotta tell my fiance this because I need her to know. I need to give her an option, but it's the truth. Not, you know what? I can't tell her this because it's gonna hurt her feelings.
mhm,
See, this is why I'm saying, when we're dealing in truth with each other, when you go into a relationship, I think that, especially for men, because I'm understanding, you've said it a lot, a man doesn't want to hurt his woman. So it's like, oh, I don't want to say that to her. I don't want to hurt her feelings.
mhm,
What I would like to say, if men, if you guys could give us as women a chance, go ahead, forget about our feelings, give us the truth. Because if it's the truth that sets us free, makes us free, okay, you telling me whatever it is, I promise it's going to make me better.
Yeah.
And that may be difficult for men because just like all other behaviors, you're used to operating in that vein. I don't want to hurt my mom. I don't want to hurt my sister. I don't want to hurt my female cousin. Or even women. Well, I don't want to say that because I don't want to hurt their feelings. It's not about feelings. It's about is what you're telling that person the truth. And if you can't tell them what the truth is, it's no longer about that person. It's about how it makes you feel in giving your truth.
Mm,
Because if you hurt my feelings, then because let's deal with this. If you hurt my feelings, what comes out of that? If I have on a dress, let's just stick there. A lot of people have that. Okay, I put on a dress that's not becoming of me. It doesn't fit me well. It doesn't look good on me. And then I say, "Hey, babe, what you think about this dress?" You don't want to hurt my feelings, so you say, "Oh, babe, it's okay." But now I'm going out into the world and I'm not looking good because you're not telling me the truth that could have picked a better dress because you didn't want to hurt my feelings.
yeah. I mean, so okay, so that's that's the least of the examples. I want let's be
It's
real
the
about
least.
yeah, because that's
Mm,
when I'm talking about no, that happens all the time. When I say least, I don't mean like it's not something that happens. That happens all the time.
okay.
What I'm saying is that here's the difference. I'm talking about real weighty stuff. I'm talking about
Okay.
things that really that's outward appearance. I'm talking about things that really cut deep.
Okay. Well,
Like
let's deal with that.
having to say to your woman that I'm not attracted to you anymore. That that
But
that's
what's wrong?
different.
But
No,
what's wrong with being honest with
no,
that?
I'm not saying anything's wrong with being honest with that. What I'm saying, here's the difference. Cultivating a safe space to have those types of conversations is the difference. If you have not cultivated a place where that's safe, and
Okay.
this is not 10 years that you've harbored these feelings and you haven't said anything,
Mm-hmm.
and you haven't cultivated a safe space in a relationship, man or woman won't feel comfortable just having that. Yes, truth should be given.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, not I'm telling you, but what I'm saying is
I
that
understand.
we've cultivated a safe space to have real, honest, and meaningful conversations.
Mm-hmm.
And many couples don't create that safe space. They get into the feelings.
Okay.
I give you truth, and now there's blowback behind this truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been through this, the guilt, the condemnation, you carrying this, this weight of all of this truth that you just tried to share. And now for the next 5 years, it keeps getting blown back and thrown in your face just because you were honest about certain things. And, and it could be male or female, because maybe she's not attracted to him and he let himself go.
Yeah.
Still loves him,
Yeah.
but you don't let yourself go, bro. You're not performing to the level that you were. You're not eating right, your diet, you have ED issues and all of that. And
Right.
you're accepting or expecting that woman to just accept that.
Yeah.
Or you're expecting that man because you've decided that you don't want to work out anymore. You don't let yourself go. And you're expecting because they love you that they just got to deal with that. And you don't want to give that truth. No, I don't like that.
Right.
That's not how we started this
Right.
relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I know life happened. Well, I had all these babies for you and I had all these kids. And then you start hearing all of that. Like, man, all I'm saying is these kids are 22 years old. You can't be talking about this is baby fat. That is not baby fat anymore.
Right. This is laziness.
This did
This is laziness. Let's
you
let's call it
just call it what it
this is
is.
Love and Truth podcast.
Yeah, let's just say what it is. No,
It's
this ain't no
laziness.
this that baby is 20 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've had 20 years.
Right.
We give you the first year, second year, maybe you're dealing with some other stuff, and then I get other things happen, but you've made a choice.
Yeah, because we're not talking about, and we always reiterate this. We're not talking about people that may have health issues.
No,
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about people that can actually do something about whatever it is you have going on
They're
that your
conditioned.
significant other doesn't like. If they're not, you've put on weight. That's what most of us do. If your significant other doesn't particularly care for that, I think that we should be open enough. And this is a partnership, a relationship. In relationships, there are things that are going to be said
Yeah,
that make us feel uncomfortable. If you're not if I don't make you feel uncomfortable sometimes, how do you even grow? If I
you
don't
won't.
challenge you, how do you grow?
You won't.
And why would I just continue to sit in a relationship and the milk is sitting outside? All I got to do is put it back in the refrigerator and for it to
It's
be good
fear,
versus just letting it sit there and just spoil.
fear,
Okay.
right? People have a fear
Okay.
that there's going to be some type of retribution or some blowback if you're giving the honest truth. And listen,
Mhm.
and I'm going to give this because it's not just about, I know we use the example of, picking up weight or whatever, but here's the thing that sometimes men do this.
Mhm.
Your lady is saying, "Hey, you know what? The romance is gone. You're not dating me anymore. We don't do the fun things that we used to do." And the response is, "Well, I'm working. I'm paying all these bills. I'm doing all of these." They go through the list of all the things that they're doing,
Right.
but you're not hearing what she's saying.
Right.
She's telling you, but you don't want to hear the truth.
Right.
You want to put something else out there that I'm doing all these other things. But the truth is, she doesn't feel appreciated. She doesn't
Right.
feel, valued and desired. And, she's not a priority to you because
Mhm.
you're not doing the things you did to get her. And
Mhm.
all she's trying to tell you is that I need that. I want that romance in our relationship. Now, she's giving you the honest truth, and you can reject it. You can make excuses for it. You can explain it away. But this is how people get caught up in situationships because somebody comes along and shows her that attention
Right.
that she's not getting,
Mhm.
but she tried to tell you, but you didn't
Mhm.
want to hear the truth.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that it cuts every which way you want.
Yeah. So I think that it's okay for us to be open and honest when we are at first stages of our relationship and we actually tell the person that we're with how we need to be loved, what that looks like for us. Because if I tell you how I need to be loved, if I tell you men and women, I'm not telling you just on the first date to just spill all the beans, but if it's somebody that you like, go through this process and give
Right.
them the things that that you need so that you know that you're going to, hey, this person is going to help me to, and they don't change you, but they can add to you. But you've let them know what you've needed. And if they're able to provide that, then you've won. And but vice versa. But I think that you both need to be open and just give real truths about what you need. And that includes if something happened to you along the way, those people need to know, especially if it was a
Right.
significant event.
Mm-hmm.
We call it trauma sometimes. My husband says significant event now. But that other party needs to know that.
Yeah.
So they need to know what they're working with. Can they even handle that?
Mm-hmm. You said something a second ago about letting the person know what you need.
Yes.
But I also think it's important that you need to go through a process and understand, do you know what you really need?
Mm.
Do you know what's important to you? Hey, take out all of the material things.
Whew.
Take out, well, I need somebody that's going to do this. I need somebody that's going to take me on these trips. I need somebody to buy me these Birkin bags. No, no, no. That's not what you need.
No, that's not what
That's
you
what you
need. That's what
want.
you want.
That's what you want.
Right.
But do you know what you need
Right.
in a relationship to be fulfilled?
Right.
Take all the material out of it
Mm-hmm.
and be honest with yourself. Again, we talk about being truthful, but
Right.
sometimes the truth hurts. Are those material things masking other hurts and pains that you're trying to um, overcome,
Overcompensate for.
overcompensate for? That's what I was looking for.
Mm.
Overcompensate for. And now you're putting the pressure on somebody else to fulfill whatever void it is that you have in you through them doing these acts.
And that's not gonna work either. That's
It,
a
it'll only
temporary.
work for a
Yeah,
short
it's very
time.
temporary. That's
But
nothing lasting or
right.
sustainable.
Right, but you're not being truthful with yourself first. And the most painful truth is the truth that you have to tell yourself.
Right.
And that's what it's that's why the journal is so important because there's several prompting questions in
Yeah.
that journal. Again, the first section is around building the foundation.
Right.
And if you're in a relationship, it's about creating a safe space. We deal with creating a safe space
Right.
first. Before we get into the trauma or the significant events, before we get into the relationship dynamics, before we get into your past relationships, before we get into all of that, we start off about laying a foundation.
Right.
How do you create a safe space
Mhm.
in a relationship, right? That's
Mhm.
new.
Yeah.
And you got and so we ask, what does a safe space look like to you?
To you, what does a safe
What does that
space look like
mean?
to you?
What does that mean to you to be in a relationship where you feel safe?
Yes.
And what I can say is that out of all the relationships I've been in, this is the first time that I've ever felt like I was in a safe space
Mm.
to share everything.
Yeah.
Never before. Never before. So if I don't feel safe,
Yeah.
you only gonna get partial truths from me because I don't know if you in or if you out. You're just not gonna get it.
So this is what we know to be true. If you're dating and you don't feel safe, if you are engaged and you don't feel safe, if you're married and you don't feel safe, you will not be honest and tell your significant other what you need to tell them. So, what that means is when you are wherever you are in your relationship now, you can create this. It doesn't matter what didn't happen. A safe space has to be created, but in order to get there, truth has to be told.
Yeah.
Period. There's no way around it. There's no
Yep.
way around truth.
No, there's no way around it. The truth is a truth. Absolute truth. And again, there's no other. There's not an absolute. No, it's just
It's
truth.
just truth.
And so when we came up with the Love and Truth podcast,
Mhm. Mhm.
this is about, hey, let's talk about how do you create that safe space in a relationship.
Right.
And we were given the idea of the journal. And really the journal, again, I'm going back to that, is the process that we went through to get to this point,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
These are the things that we discussed.
Mhm.
And again, this is not all exhaustive, but it is
It's a very good
a very
start.
good start for individual and or couples
Yeah. Oh,
to just
yes.
kind of go through it.
Uh-huh.
So we strongly encourage you, just copy your copy. You're supporting us. We appreciate it.
Yes, we
But more
appreciate it.
importantly, you are investing in you and your
Yes.
relationship. And we just want you to have a good, solid foundation.
Yeah.
Our motto is that we want to see everybody win.
We do. We want to see everybody win. Something that I pride myself in always saying is when people do say, "Oh, we want a relationship like we see you guys have." I don't want you to have a relationship like ours. I want your relationship to be better. The better that each person is, that you can help somebody coming behind you, and that's what it's all about. Um, I don't want anybody to be like me. I want you to be better than me.
Hmm.
Period.
Yeah.
And that's how we live as a couple and that's how we live individually. So, the last thing, we got a few more minutes left. Um something that the reason why some people really don't um they don't want to be open and honest is because they'll say, "Will they still love me if I show them this side of me?"
Yeah.
When we are showing people a side of us that's ugly, we don't like it. So it's like, well, if I show you, then you may not like it. That's another whole topic. It's
Yeah.
another whole issue. Like we could go on and on with this. And
Yeah.
it's a lot of things that we have to say about this, but we got an hour. But I think
Yeah.
we've given some topics or we've made some statements that people can really grab on
Yeah.
to. But the one thing for this episode is I just want people to understand there is no you being truthful with me if you're not being truthful with you.
Right.
I don't even, that's why showing up as an imposter, you showed up as a lie already. If we build on a lie, what does that look like? We built our house on the sand. It's not gonna last.
Right? No, it is. It's a lie. That's what it's built on. So we're just trying to encourage people just to do the work, go through the
Yeah.
process,
Yeah.
understand that it does take effort, and you
Right.
have to be intentional about wanting to get to the root and get to the truth. Again, going back to what we talked about in the last episode,
Mhm.
and what happened and what else, and listen. Right? Don't listen to respond, listen to understand that person's perspective. And then the more and more you listen, and we'll close with this, and then the more and more you listen, it creates that safe space.
Right.
Listen without judgment, listen without trying to respond. Just listen and give that person an opportunity to share.
Right.
And the more and more you practice that, the more and more you'll create that safe space that we're talking about. They
Right.
feel comfortable sharing. When you give them some truth, you don't have an overreaction to it. And so now they feel like, okay, I just shared something. She didn't overreact. Okay, we good.
Right.
And you build that confidence over. So no, that's good. Good stuff. We
Yeah.
appreciate y'all.
We do,
Let them know where to follow us at.
yeah, that's what I'm about to do next. Definitely go and follow us on Facebook, IG, all of those things will be running across the screen. YouTube, we ask you to subscribe, share, and follow, and we really appreciate all of the support that we've been given from you guys ordering our journal. We thank you for those of you that have subscribed and that are just following us through this journey.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank y'all.
thank you. So until next
Till
time,
next time.
peace.
Peace.